All
And
right.
yeah, I think it's live. I see the button turn yellow.
Okay. I think we're live now. Well, no one's gonna come in, but we can save it to later to YouTube, I believe. So
So intro music.
yeah,
So this is Toby with Andy, and we're here to play a single moment through Google Hangouts.
yeah. It's been a while. I know that Google Hangouts is going to be changing a lot. In fact, the thing we're doing now, Google Hangouts on air, is going to be called something like YouTube Live or something
Yeah,
in
I've
literally
heard
3 days. So I'm glad
of
we
this
did this
one.
now because next week we would have had to learn all these technical details all over again. So
Yeah. So recap. Andy has asked to try the game with me, and I am attempting to do it on Hangouts because I'm very nervous right now. So nervous that I forgot my own dice for my own game. So I will be using an app.
mhm.
There's excited dice.
Nice.
And yeah, so
Yep.
we will. I guess we'll have a quick game. So that'll be a three-chapter game.
Okay.
Um, so a single moment is a two-player narrative role-playing game wherein you and another player are both samurai as you find yourselves standing at that single moment when one of you might end up dead.
Mhm.
It's inspired by all those movies I've seen before, wherein you have the two samurai facing off each other. A large part of the inspiration, admittedly, was Kenshin or Samurai X, as some people know it, because it was known for all those face-offs with lots of flashbacks.
Uh, Rowan and Kenshin. Yeah, yeah.
So this game kind of wanted to capture that feeling. The roots of the game all began way back many years ago when a gamer of mine named Urim used to complain that there would be game nights when he'd show up and the other players couldn't.
Uh,
And the two of us would just be sitting there wondering what we would do. So he ended up going, someone has to make a two-player game. And I decided to try to make one, not realizing that the web is filled with so many of them.
mhm.
But
There's
yeah,
always room for
so
more, especially with all sorts of different focuses and things like that. So
mhm. And so that's me, and that's a single moment. Andy, talk about your stuff.
uh, I'm just a guy who plays games. That's what I am.
No, you're
Yes,
not.
that is literally all I'm. But I also do things like on the side from my day job. I studied Japanese. I've been studying Japanese on and off for 22 years now. And not at school and stuff like that. School was 4 or 5 years, but through media and reading and self study and things like that. And I also translate a bunch of Japanese RPGs. I also play Japanese RPGs, sometimes I play U.S. or English RPGs with Japanese friends. Very recently, I was doing D&D Fifth Edition and some Shinobigami, a Japanese RPG in Japanese friends. I've got a bunch of friends that are just kind of have interests all over the place. So we'll play everything from some OSR stuff to the latest cool hippie story gamey thing. So yeah, and no, Toby has been a huge fan of my stuff, and in doing so, and his posts and stuff, I've become a huge fan of Toby's things. Um, uh, Basically, I've become a fan of your interest, not in my stuff, but basically, I would I first got clued into you because you would post stuff about Ryutama or things like that. And then I would see you would have the next blog post be about some other game that you were really deep into. And I would just read on and on. I'm like, holy crap, these guys are doing so much. In the Philippines. So I've been following your blog for a while now. And then I saw you're doing game design and things like that. And I saw this game come out. And yeah, it was like, at that point you had enough traction as a distinguished gamer that it was an insta buy for me. And yeah, and that's that. Yeah. So design aside, I think you're an awesome guy, and I really follow your gaming blog with interest because you seem to be really tearing it up in the Philippines, and that's really exciting to watch.
Now I feel bad because my blog hasn't been updated that much.
Well, yeah, the little posts you do, every 2 or so weeks, I see something linked into G Plus that has the first paragraph in it. I just read the first few sentences and then it stops, and of course, I have to click on to go to the blog post and read the rest.
Yeah.
But already I'm hooked, so so it's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to attempt a Ryutama game using Google Hangouts. Given the nervousness and all that, we'll try to keep this game short.
Yep.
And who knows, we might end up maybe doing. Hey, maybe we can like do this once a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crowd some people together. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So for those who are not familiar with a single moment, both players open the game with opening declarations, wherein they talk about where they shape the setting of the game. That includes where the battle is happening and how long it's transpired. And then from there, the players then choose a virtue that captures the point of the point of agreement between both sides. The game is very zero prep. You're not expected to plan anything beforehand because you're expected to play off whatever ideas the other player has in mind. It uses 6-sided dice for a solution, and some tokens which will help you keep track of hatred, edges, and scars, and what else? There's cards, but they're optionally for use if you want some randomness in it, but you're always free to just choose the virtues that color the scene.
And there are 7, or well, I think traditionally there are 7, but I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 7 here, right? The 7 samurai virtues. So yeah, once we go through the first one, then we can just roll a d6 or whatever, or just choose. Yeah, cool.
And so we're going to play this. We've never played before, so we don't know how this will turn out. But
yep. And yeah, and it was great because I'm like, yeah, let's do a session on Hangouts, and we're like, yes, and then we got together, and then like literally a few minutes beforehand, I'm like, how are we gonna do the dice and the chips and cards and things? I guess we'll just kind of wing it.
Yeah, I just have the small advantage of having done this for a few podcasts, so I'm less nervous than I should be. But yeah, Rocky can feel how cold my hands are. Rocky is my partner. He's over here. There. and
my partner's over here. She's laying on the ground there. That's her butt. There's Maya there. Hey, Maya, say hi. She's laying on Godbound over here. Great.
Clearly, someone does not care. She's not even looking at us.
Nope. She's hanging up on my feet.
So yeah, we will attempt to play a single moment. Well, I'm not sure how serious or funny this will be, but we will find out.
Yep. I'd actually like to aim for not bone-jarringly grueling tears and self-loathing seriousness, but definitely more on that angle than a kind of a wacky comedy. Yeah, like
are we looking? Mm-hmm. Are we looking at very traditional, realistic, or are we looking at over the top?
Yeah, actually, so I'm really a fan of a lot of the samurai dramas and things like that, period pieces. And I'm not as familiar. You mentioned before we began the cast that this is very based on, from what you understand, to be some of the action and scenes that happen in like Rurouni Kenshin, aka Samurai X, which is actually itself borrows a lot from the movies and TV dramas and things like that, which I've experienced. Of course, Rurouni Kenshin has a lot of anime jumping and things like that. It's more serious than say like a One Piece. My background is from the other side, like the Zatoichi TV shows and the Hisatsu Shigotonins and
a touch of Zen and the like.
Yeah. So maybe like of course a lot of like dramatic cinematic like samurai style cinematic fight scenes, but not like jumping up a cliff.
So no wire work.
Yeah, yeah, or like the limited amount of wire work you would expect to see in a samurai movie.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, that sort of thing. Like the you know draws out the sword and like four people fall. That's cool, but uh, you know, I'm trying to
So,
think.
I guess more Kurosawa, less Tarantino.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, no. Tarantino's still kind of realistic, though gory. Um, yeah, just maybe tone down the anime-ish parts. Like there wouldn't be a punching through a building and the building explodes, or
Mhm.
no Michael Bay-ish, right? Yeah, I guess that would be it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll let you be the first player then.
All right.
So you'll start with the opening declarations.
Okay. So now on to the audience who will be watching this later and judging us. Um, no pressure. Um, so I've got the rule book here and in the background. If you see me looking over here, like I'm looking at something, yeah, I'm looking at. Tobie sent me a flow chart that
Yeah.
has the various things. So opening declaration. Um, Tell me how this open declaration
Okay,
goes.
so that's
I
a
see the list here, but tell
yeah.
me verbally. And hey, actually, this can kind of serve to give people an introduction to the rules as well.
Yeah. So if you look at page 7 of the rule book right now,
Okay.
you have there your guide for your opening declaration.
Mhm.
So you start with introducing who you are, who your
My name is
clan,
blank. Hmm.
and then I will respond with my name and clan, and then we go through the opening declarations list. You first choosing the time of what, and then I say where we stand, and so on and so forth.
Okay, sounds good. It'll take me just a second. I thought of a name. Uh,
Oh gosh, suddenly I don't know what name to use.
Actually, I will pop up a. Let me see. I just was looking at this just yesterday, the Tenra names list, which is actually kind of historical. I'll drop a link in the chat there for you if you want to bring that up in the background. It has place names and people names, and also aristocratic names and things like that, which I was just going to look to because I'm drawing a blank on sort of period. And I'm not going to. By the way. I've got an extreme interest in Japanese language and culture. I don't have a background in battle history and wars and things like that, and I will not ping you or pound you on anachronistic things. So in other words, long story short, impossible with me. If you're like, hey, and then we eat sushi. Oh wait, no wait, sushi. I don't think that invented every idea. And I'll be like, well, Tobie, actually, it was in the 1800s. No, none of that crap. We stay stuff. I will have my samurai eating hamburgers. I don't give a crap. So don't worry about like how historic things were or how accurate. Did they have X back then? You decide if it's your time to talk, and then I'll decide if it's my time to talk.
We will keep it fun.
Yep. All right. I think I got my name. But I'm thinking of a clan. So for clan, would that be? Are you thinking like the last? Well, there's. I don't want to go too deep in that. Do you normally say like my name is blanking? That's the first name of the clan, and then you do last name. Is that how you have it here?
Whatever feels comfortable. So
Okay.
you start with your name, and then you are of what clan, and this is your story.
Okay. Let me just let's see. And the clan name, I will pick. You know what? I will have my clan name be my family name as well. So there's, for example, if you have a clan, there might be like 5 different families within the 3 to 5 different families, but there'd be like one family that'd be like the main family. That'll be my dude. So my name is Ichijo Hisanori. My name is Ichijo Hisanori. I am of the Hisanori clan. This is my story.
My name is Hoji. I am also of the Hisanori clan. And this is my story.
Interesting. All right. All right. So already we got some fire on there. And I'm sorry, I might have to write that down. What was the name you chose?
Haji.
Haji?
Yeah, Haji.
Oh, Haji, Haji.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you continue with it is a time of.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's mine. Okay. So apologies again.
Yeah.
Actually, that was backwards. I meant to say my name is Ichijo Hisanori of the Ichijo clan. This is my story. You are Ichijo Haji, I guess. Um, it is during the time of, let's see. Ooh, just because it's hot as hell in Japan and
Mhm.
Asia in general, and it's cursing my every waking moment. Let's do it then. So this will be 1700s era ish Japan
Mhm.
during the summer. Um, the crickets and the what's a semi. The insects are constantly chirping, giving you that oppressive feel of like the summer heat. The summer also means lots of festivals, uh, lots of gatherings, lots of times for reflection and community. But there's also long, hot evenings of tossing and turning, drinking in order to keep the fever dreams of past failures away. And that's where the story begins. Oh, I'm sorry. And that's the time. That's the
Mhm.
era that happens.
Um,
Now, this we stand upon is that now does it go back and
my
forth?
turn. Yeah, it's back and forth. So it's my turn to go. Um,
Do we
I
stand
know.
upon? Mhm.
We stand upon. We stand upon the center. We stand upon the center of a crowd. It is the funeral of our father.
Ooh, the Ichijo clan elder. Interesting. Okay.
And everyone is staring as we stand there with our swords drawn. So it's back to you.
Okay. Let's see.
This is basically the.
I see the phrase, but I'm trying to think of how much time to add there. Uh, ah, okay. Let's see. It has taken us 20 years to come to 15 years to come to this single moment.
Okay. And this is a story about, let's see, which one would be nice? This is a story about respect.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
So
Okay.
with that, we've set our opening scenes. We now move to the chapters. The key thing about the chapters, and since we'll only play three, is
Hmm.
that each chapter will now be one of the focus chapters, the key foci. In games that have more than three chapters, the other chapters can just be fillers or events that happen in between the main moments. But the main moments we'll have to choose from when we set the chapters are the time we still trusted each other,
Okay.
the moment someone crosses the line,
Hmm.
and a chapter where we talk about the promises we had made for each other.
Okay.
There are also three key roles that must be in the game at some point in time.
Hmm.
They may or may not be the same person, and that's the catalyst, the victim, and the coveted.
Okay.
In this case, since you were the first one to go through the opening declarations,
Hmm.
um, I can allow you to be the first active player. To make it simple on your end, you can get 7 dice and keep it in front of you.
Hmm.
As we play through the session, whenever something seems to be going your way, move one of the dice to the side. That's a token that goes to me.
Okay.
And whenever it's something that favors you, you move the die to another side and run out of dice.
Okay.
So
With 7
basically,
dice. Okay.
the only resolution system is you saying whether or not it goes in your favor or not through the narrative.
Okay.
We will also choose one virtue for this chapter, and whoever role played or represented that chapter the most will get 2 extra tokens.
Okay.
So,
Tokens or dice?
well, I use the term tokens because they become dice afterwards, just so that it's not confusing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
With that, just because I haven't played this one before, I have read the rules a while ago, but
You want me to be the first active
yeah,
player?
yeah. Go ahead, and be the first active player. Walk us through it slowly, and we'll pick it up. Now, I am going to. Yeah. Now, if we're playing this face to face, we would actually see the dice in front of us, and you would kind of like hold one up and be like, it's going towards my direction. I would kind of like nod, and then you put on your side. So we don't have that sort of interaction here online.
Yeah, I'll have the tokens. So whenever there's something that seems to be happening for you, I'll motion this to you.
Okay.
If ever it seems to be for me, I'll just hold it close to me and I'll put it down.
Okay.
So I think I'll start the opening chapter with I think I'll go for the promises first. This chapter will be all about things we committed to each other. The key role in this case could be the coveted. I'll have this scene be you said 15 years. So yeah, let's go 15 years ago when we were still kids, when we were still really young. The coveted will be our father, who was still alive at this point in time.
Okay.
He will be watching us in this scene, and as the active player, you will be the one who will have to play the father whenever we need the father to respond in any way.
Okay, sounds good.
It's up to you how the father responds.
All right.
And our virtue for this chapter will be, let's make it courage.
Okay. Now, we mentioned that respect was the overall. Okay. So how does that come into the scenes, and how is that going to affect our scenes at all? Or is it just kind of set the tone of how things are going to happen in the future? Okay.
So we could always have arguments about who's being disrespectful. We could always highlight moments when one is acting in a respectful manner. And
got it. So basically, in the background, that's probably going to have a heavy influence on the final, or at least the cause of the final thing. However, we don't get like respect dice or tokens or anything if we bring. Cool. Excellent.
For this chapter, it's more about courage.
Courage, okay.
Jot that down as well. How courage led to respect or the loss of it and the like.
Got it. And I'll play the Ichijo Elder if needed.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're young. We're perhaps I guess you could say we're seated right now in front of our father, who is telling us about what he will expect from us as we come of age. He's reminding us about our roles as the 2 soul brothers of the main clan.
Now, are we going to actually be brothers? Like by blood brothers, or are we cousins, or what would be? I guess you're the active player, so go ahead and decide that.
That actually we can decide on as we play.
Okay.
If you start accusing me of being adopted, then I might.
Nice. I see.
Because it favors you and not me.
Got it.
So that's how the game works.
Okay.
All right. So we start, and I bow before my father. Being the younger one of the 2, I am not certain why I have been called.
Okay. And the older one, who, actually, and what does Haji look like at this stage? How old is he, and how does he carry himself?
Well, I'm the younger one, so I guess I'm not as well prepared. My clothes aren't properly worn. I'm not seated in the right way. I probably keep fidgeting because I'm I'm not disciplined enough to do this right.
Okay. And I
Slightly
will. Mhm.
glancing at my brother.
Oh, okay. And Hisanori, who has been waiting there, he's basically there's a little square. There's maybe a couple square cushions, and he's doing the Seiza style kneeling, at samurai rest, basically samurai rest pose, with a straight back. Um, I hate the top knot, the samurai top knot crap. So he's got like the hair pulled into a ponytail, taut. Um, uh, a sort of calm expression, like kind of a stoic expression, used for when basically in the father's presence, or teacher's presence, or presence of anything that might upset him. He seems to have a calm about him, and we'll say at this age I said 15 years, so let's make him like 12. And he's got like his, I don't know, like dark blue kimono. And do we have swords at this point? Do we have little wooden swords? Do we have like real swords, or what do you think we got as we sit down here?
I guess we could have wooden swords.
Okay.
That visually looks dramatic enough.
Okay. So and they're in this. And what kind of room are we in? Are we in the dojo, or are we in the meeting, like basically the house hall for meeting guests and stuff? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm seeing the hall.
Okay.
I'm seeing this as a unexpected moment that we've suddenly been summoned.
Okay.
I'm giving you one token already because you're definitely more prepared than I am. I'm nervous. I'm fiddling with my hair and.
Okay. I'll glance over to you with a sort of a cool, like sort of a calming, I should say, cool look that maybe kind of chills you. That and basically, Hisanori doesn't like snort or like give you a face or tell you like he doesn't like say like, hey, you get it together, but he does kind of look at you in sort of a sense that like and maybe once or twice this has happened before where he's offering you his strength. He looks at you with a calm resolve, with and there's something about his eyes and it's like the last few times we've done this, and it tries to encourage you to do the same before we both look back to the father.
I draw from my brother. I try to stay calm. I ignore the rumbling in my stomach because I have not eaten.
Nice. Then I slowly turn my glance back to the elder, Ichijo elder, or father, I guess. Yeah, father. And wait, because something is happening here.
I probably speak out of turn this moment. Why have you called us, father? And immediately realize I shouldn't have spoken.
Okay. Interesting. Now, I got a question on the side so it would be the father's turn to speak at this point. Do you have anything in mind for this, or shall he just
pick it up as we go along?
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, okay, got it. Interesting. So it's kind of like playing catch, the role playing catch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple times we're going to wing the ball at each other like this.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ichijo, the elder, looks at you, doesn't make a face or anything, but you as soon as Haji opens his mouth, he realizes it's just the kind of the an almost wolf like glare of intensity from the father, not in anger, but just like a sort of sensation. And a sort of almost withering glance, but not of anger, just of one of like, sort of, I guess the samurai equivalent would be get it together.
Mhm.
Um, and he looks at you and says, uh, what, just to see, because I want to see how the token thing works. And
Mhm.
I'll make a hungry hippos grab for a token here, and I'll say, Haji, your mind is not quiet. You should really look to your cousin Hisanori
Mhm.
for you know to be a role model in this. Take after him and quiet yourself, he says.
I
And
nod, bowing my head lower, but I guess this would be a perfect moment for a more audible growl to come from my stomach.
mhm. um, well, at that point, the father just pretends to ignore that, and he turns to you and he continues with Haji and says, uh, but your question, um, he says, uh, to your own question, I return a question. He says, look down. Have you not noticed something odd about this room?
I slowly look around. I glance at my brother to see if he noticed anything.
Um, uh, and Hisanori is sort of straight ahead the father because you're the one being asked a question. Um, and well, you kind of notice that there is in fact three pillows for sitting, of which you and Hisanori are sitting, but one is empty. Uh, and in fact, it's actually so like there would be like, here's the father, here's you two, and the third pillow is like it's like forms a little triangle there, right? So it's like you two, and then there's like one in front between. But you and Hisanori are sitting next to each other, and then
Mhm.
there's one in front of you that is empty. And at which point the father looks to you um, and says, "Yeah, um, the purpose of this gathering." He, he holds out his hand, indicating the open seating pillow. Is clear. So, tell me, why are we here, Haji?
Hmm. I shall.
I lob it back at you.
Yep. I'm grabbing another token. The way the tokens work, if you notice, as the active player, when things go well for me, the token gets awarded to you.
Okay.
And when things go bad for me, I keep the token. The
Mhm.
reason for that is later when the tokens become dice, um, whoever has been having it well um, will be the one who. Oh, great! My brain's suddenly blanking out. The idea is there's a possibility of sudden reversal. That
Mhm.
things might be going well for me, but the dice keep going to you,
Okay.
and that's when you suddenly the ending goes in your favor rather than mine.
Okay.
So that's the sort of way it works out.
So, in other words, when you're the active player, things are going well for you. You actually don't get them. They go to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it might
when
be
they're
like
going bad for
anything.
you, they put it in front of you. They go in
Yeah,
front
so
of
it
you.
might be all smooth for me in the scene, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the scene, it might favor you all of a sudden.
Interesting. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
So in this case, I will reward myself another token
Mm-hmm.
because I will make the mistake of thinking I'm supposed to move, and I start standing up to move towards the new pillow.
Oh, okay. Also, a quick question: how long does the scene go? Does it go until we run out of chips,
Until
or
until we
sooner
run
than
out of
that?
shit.
Okay, sounds good. Um,
We're down
then
to two chips.
I see. We're down to two chips left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh,
So I approach. I'm thinking
got
the
it.
pillow's meant for me, and as
Got
I
it.
step towards it,
Aha. All right. So why not? Yeah, we'll do the samurai style. The father gives uh, a sharp yell, Hisanori, and Hisanori turns to actually, well, without even sort of glancing, a flurry of motion,
Mm-hmm.
and you are splayed out on the ground. Or if that's
Yeah,
tell me
yeah,
if I'm taking too many liberties. Um, Basically, Hisanori has tripped and pinned you to the ground, um, and the father is standing and enraged,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
saying, know, um, you know, mm, saying something really awesome. Uh, no, he basically, yeah. How dare you? It has only been a month since your brother died. He's uh, uh, says to you, and let's see. So I kind of established that we are cousins, but I'm thinking that hold on, let me back that up. Got it. We are cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to let's see, I could describe this through all through brilliant role playing, but since my brain isn't 100% on coffee,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to basically say something, and then I'll carry it through the role playing. But basically, the idea here, and this is just something I just came up with, the pillow, I guess, was Haji's father, Ichijo's most loyal retainer,
Mm-hmm.
died a month ago from sickness, a month to this day. And in fact, this pillow is a more decorated pillow upon which he was, the one he sat on. And you have been adopted into the Ichijo family. Like it was just no question. It was Ichijo, the elder, the father's honor to adopt you and make you an Ichijo.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, he's not your father, but he sort of is. Um,
I view
and
him as that out of respect. Yeah.
yeah, and to his benefit, I mean, he's known you all his life, and you are the son of a great samurai. So you are not the stepchild, getting all the beatings while Hisanori gets all the praise or anything like that. He's treating you like a son. But just like Hisanori, if you do step out of line, you do get smacked down, which is happening right now. Um, and he's saying, uh, how dare you try to ascend to your father's station? You haven't even grasped the things that he did for this clan. No, I brought you here to lay out your future. It's been 1 month since your father died, and since I've adopted you into this family. Um, it is now time at your um, already adult age of 8 years old to start thinking about your future. And
I
here's
hold
where
back
we
the.
will
I
here's where
try.
we will decide your future in this clan. He says, um, "Yeah." And there's
I
one pause. Go ahead.
I try to straighten up. I try to show that I have understood the mistake, and I bow my head lower.
Mhm.
Um, I guess from this point on, I finally do stay focused. I give this to you
Okay.
as I try now to show that I am learning and I am growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I presume the emperor. I assume the father goes through um, the whole proclamation, the whole statement.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There with some a small amount of ceremony. Um, I would say like another retainer comes into the room, like a scribe who comes down
Mhm.
and basically sits down, and the father just basically starts dictating things like you will study under Hisanori in the dojo, learn the samurai ways. Hisanori, of course, will become the what's it called, the clan's sword master,
Mhm.
teacher. But if you one day are as good as him, you may find yourself the star pupil. Then, of course, at age 15, we will start looking for a wife for you if we haven't found one for you. A political match by then, and blah 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 blah. And the scribe there is taking notes. But I'm going to say this: since the courage to deal with it, yeah, there. Let's put it this way. Let's see. I guess there are elements. It's a scary situation, right? You were a snot-nosed kid, a samurai kid, and it was expected that over time you would have this sort of thing happen. Usually it happens much older, and the father sort of taking charge and making it happen earlier. So it's sort of a scary situation, but it seems to have kind of knocked you into a serious / adulting role here. Yeah, you quieted up and started to take things a little more seriously. Let's see. There's a few places. There's like one or two places within this declaration that he gives you a choice. What's one that catches you by surprise? It's a very open sort of big choice in that he offers you. Basically, there's like, maybe we'll say throughout the documentation, he's got a lot of things set. You will do this at this age. You will do this at this age. We'll introduce you to this person. But then he actually unexpectedly, given that he could just roll out and just tell you what you're going to do until you're 70, stops, turns to you and with a, you can almost feel his heart in his voice. He gives you some choices. What's one of the more startling choices that he gives you, and what do you say to
that? He could assign me to watch over your character from this point on, to act as your personal Yojimbo or something like that. And I guess it would be a moment for me to face the fear and say I am ready. I could imagine, though, that after the father has accepted my declaration, I would have walked up to you alone, and I'd be admitting to you, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Will you promise to help me learn to defend you?
Interesting.
I know we're not truly brothers, but I trust you more than anyone else right now, and he looks up. He expects of me to be like you.
And Hisanori says, we are brothers on paper, and we're brothers in the eyes of my father. Therefore, we are truly brothers. He says, with a certain warmth in his heart, and says, he offered you any position. You decided to be my protector and retainer. To that, yes, I will absolutely train you to be as good as I am.
Smiling,
and he and this is of course on the side. So Hisanori, of course, breaks into a warm smile. Now that he's no longer in stoic mode, warm smile, and kind of grabs you by the shoulders and just is giving you a smiling, as close to the samurai days as bro hug as happened between kids. But yes.
And I guess now would be a nice moment to have my character promise you that I promise to learn all I can, and I promise no one will ever harm you. They will have to harm me first.
All right. Interesting.
And we can close the chapter there.
Sure. Let me write that down. I promise. That was kind of cool. Let me see. Promise no harm will come to you.
Yeah. The game thrives on such promises that are meant to be broken.
And I will not allow you to come to harm unless it conflicts with the first or second laws. Let's see. Okay. So that was our scene, our chapter. What? So let's go back through a little bit what happened there. So we had the you set the sort of the details of the scene.
Mhm.
We started it. You chose a virtue. We chose the role. So there was the coveted,
Yeah.
and the coveted was the father. So in other words, and that's sort of what I brought into the back, like back into the end,
Mhm.
which is trying to make him not just a gruff asshole, but actually someone who cares for both of you now. So there might
Mhm.
be tension into who has more love, etc.
The
What
desire
was
for attention.
yeah? Where did the key foci fall? The
So,
promises, right?
yeah. So we focused on the promises, and here it was me making that promise to you, which most likely I will not keep.
Hmm.
Get that. The covet that's been introduced, it's someone whom I want to gain the respect of, but you already have the respect of. So there's that tension there.
Okay.
Um, I'd like to think courage will go to me because in as much as I acted foolishly, I dove in and went for it.
Hmm.
So that'll give 2 extra tokens back to me.
Okay.
So in the end, you have 3 tokens. This represents your possible. This represents your possible edges,
Okay.
and then wait there. So you have your 3 tokens, and then I have 6. Okay. So
Okay.
we will roll the same number of tokens as dice,
Okay.
but we may embrace scars if we want more dice.
And how does scars work? I saw the
Um,
like evens odds basically like they either become edges or scars.
yeah. Basically, scars are something you track throughout the game because they are important at the end of the game.
Okay.
If you have too many scars, there is a possibility of being dealt a killing blow in the end of the game.
Ah.
So for now, we both have edges, and we can accept scars to get more dice. But for simplicity, let's just keep focus on the edges.
Mhm.
And the number of edges we have, we roll. Whoever has the higher total becomes victorious. Sorry, we have choice tokens, and whoever has the higher total, they will gain edges.
Okay.
Whereas the person who had the lower total will gain hatred equal to the edges.
Okay.
So you roll 3 dice, and I
All
will
right.
roll 6.
You have to take my word for it here. I can just move the thing down to show
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
But,
it's okay.
oh, I got
I trust you.
triple sixes. No, I got 10 total.
I've had games where the guy with more dice fails because he rolled a lot of ones.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Sadly, I have a lot. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna get this round.
okay.
Yeah, does that show?
Yep. I see you definitely have more than 10.
So with that, um, I had a total of 6. So I have basically 6 edges for the end of the game,
Okay.
and you get 6 hatred for the end of the game.
6 hatred. Okay, let me write that down.
How many dice did you have that were over 3?
1. 3 or over, or just over 3? So in other words, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
Which is 1.
Okay, so your hatred is growing. My edges are here. I'm keeping track of them,
Okay.
and we will move to the next chapter.
Okay.
So this time you get to choose the focus and the key character.
All right. One moment. Let's see.
So is it the time we still trusted each other, or is it the time someone crosses the line?
Cross the line. I'm going to go for the time we still trusted each other, which will be 5 years after that.
Oh, so that means I'm 13.
Yep. Actually, hold on. Actually, let's make that older and then have something serious happen. So I think I set it so that I was 5 years older. So
Mhm.
we will set it so that you are 17 and I am 21. So 6 years before the final events. And this is the time we still trust each other. There will be Ooh. Tell me now the key roles. Is there like a little description of each one other than the single word?
Yeah, basically the
Oh, the key role.
catalyst.
I see.
Yeah, you see it.
Yep. The for example, the catalyst. We did the coveted holds the affection, respect, or trust
Mhm.
that one samurai has, which the other so desperately desires.
Mhm.
Ooh.
The
Um,
catalyst basically is the one who triggers the whole thing. It could
yes.
be someone in the side who says something. It could be someone who we're trying to get the affections of. It could be someone.
Uh,
Yeah.
and sometimes the catalyst can be the person from
Yes.
okay, got it. So I'm gonna say we're gonna have a victim this time. Then, oh sorry, we're
Oh,
gonna the key foci will be the time we still trust each other.
and there will be a victim.
There will be a victim, um, and the victim is this person is the one who suffers the tragedy which one of the samurai could not stop. While some might think this is similar to the catalyst, typically this role cements more animosity between two samurai. So there might be
Mhm.
something like a really jarring thing, but like we'll still deal with it because we're brothers.
Mhm.
But then something else later will push us over the edge. Um, and let's see. So now, if there were cards, we would just maybe pull out one. So
Mhm.
maybe I should just go ahead and roll
Yeah.
randomly. Um, although I kind of like the idea of rectitude, just because I don't see the word pop up that often. But oh, let's see. I got one,
Well, if you roll a one, rectitude
two,
is
three, four. I got four actually. So I'm jumping over courage. One, two, three, four. Honesty and sincerity.
yeah, that's honesty. Yeah.
Ready. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Uh, let's see. Time we still trust each other, and there's a victim.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be a victim of our actions. It could be someone who died and we're dealing with it.
Got it. Um. mm, Oh, ooh, okay. And now let me just, as I set up the chapter, how long? Let's see. How long do I spend setting it up? Um,
You just need to get 7 tokens.
okay. So actually, I'm gonna just put 7 dice in front of me. Two,
Yeah.
four.
And then whenever something happens that favors you, you put it to the side so that will go to me.
Hmm. And if it favors me, then yeah, I put it in front of myself. Let's see. Okay. Um, I remember the time when we still. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So it actually sort of kind of goes back to us facing off at each other.
Yes. These are all flashbacks.
Got it.
So we're back in the funeral. We're
Okay.
quietly staring at each other across the room, across the scene, and then we go to this chapter.
Okay. Got it. So, does any action happen there, like at the funeral,
Not
or
necessarily.
okay,
I mean, we could have you could always inject a little bit, but all the actions that will lead to any any major changes should happen in the end.
okay. So, I'll just say that just because I love rainy scenes in these sorts of
Mhm.
things, that's when the previous flashback goes away to the
Mhm.
sound of a thunder crack, and rain starts to pour down.
At the
And
funeral.
yeah, the funeral, which is outdoors. Some people are kind of drawing away underneath for shelter,
Mhm.
but we face each other off, and I say, I remember, Haji, Ichijo Haji. I remember the time when we still once trusted each other. Um, and then we open to a scene. Let's see. Okay. Um, let's see. Active players allowed to define one key role from that point on. Any scenes, the key role or play. Okay.
Mhm.
So the victim. I'm gonna say there was a rainy
Mhm.
night. Um, probably is aiming very quickly, but let's see. Okay, got it. We're both dressed in let's see. I'm trying to think of it's kind of bad form for samurai to do this, but I'm trying to think of like basically a lord
Mm-hmm.
way above our station told our father, because it was there was a clan sort of matter,
Mm-hmm.
and since we are a clan of well-respected sword fighters, there was a certain uh, upstart, villainous
Mm-hmm.
uh, lord uh, uh, who was making waves in court, and it was up to us to
To deal with.
to basically deal with it. Yes.
Yeah.
So we, normally samurai. I would say like dress up like assassins, but there's no real need to, well, because we're planning on killing everyone anyway. So it was us. We there were carrying there was a couple retainers,
Mm-hmm.
and from this other lord's. Let's give him a name. Let me roll back to my names list really quick here. There we go. Lord Yura, Yura, Yura.
Okay.
So the young Lord Yura was shamefully throwing money away, doing gambling, doing whoring, um, completely abandoning his station and his duties. The only reason he was still uh, basically not dismissed is because he's the he's thought of as or recognized as basically like the secret slash illegitimate son of perhaps like a shogun or something like that. So like you're not allowed to, like, doesn't matter what he does,
Mm-hmm.
he'll get away with anything. You just have to kind of grin and bear it,
Okay.
um, unless there were an accident to befall him. Uh, we are that accident,
Okay.
and as retainers were his retainers, Yura's retainers were carrying him on one of those what they call kago cage,
Mm-hmm.
basically like a giant palanquin, right?
Yeah.
Two beefy dudes,
Mobile transport.
heave ho, running through the woods, um, because he was summoned somewhere quickly, and it was evening, and they were trying to make some speed. So it wasn't like a huge retainer. It wasn't a huge group of people. It was basically like
Mm-hmm.
the bearers, three other samurai, and Yura inside the um, the palanquin,
Yeah.
um, and
I guess
we
we're lying in wait.
yeah, yes. Now, do I declare who the victim is, or can I say that, like, as things happen, oh, that person's the victim right there, or how's that work?
We just through the scene, and we both, whenever we make declarations like a GM,
Mhm.
if the other one doesn't oppose, then we decide where the token goes.
Okay. How about this then? Not to get over some juicy parts, and I was doing a lot of exposition here, but that's sort of setting up what happened. But
Mhm.
here's the situation. The situation is this: we easily dispatched the retainers, um, and we open up the palanquin, tear it open, and say, because we stood off, we basically revealed our names. I am Ichijo Hisanori. I am Ichijo Haji. We're here to take your life. We killed the retainers. We throw open the palanquin door, and there is Yura's um, wife
Okay.
and 12-year-old son, and
Okay.
they're really scared.
And we can start there.
Yep.
I turn to face
The wife
you.
will be the victim.
Yeah. I turn to face you, hand gently touching your side. This wasn't the victim. This wasn't the target.
I'll say, Ichijo's or Hisanori's, he's still got sort of like a, we're both super adrenaline rush. Hisanori's basically won't turn to face you. And he says, hold on, let me bring that to me. He says, it doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. The mission still must be carried out. His family has to fall.
But she's not the one who's doing it. Weren't we sent to find that man who's been gambling, who's been giving a bad reputation upon the clan?
Say this is their blood. She's his blood. His sins carry on to her, and their descendants. And Hisanori takes a step forward.
I watch you as you take a step forward. I'm not sure if this is right. I still trust you, but I feel this is wrong. Then I am thinking, I point my sword at the wife. Where is he? Did he know we were coming?
Oh, and that's up to you to...
Yeah. She stares. She's unable to answer. She grabs her son tighter.
Mm-hmm.
All she's mumbling is, please, please, don't hurt us. I can't do this.
Let's see.
I'm thinking I'll step in front of you at this point.
Okay. Actually, here's the thing: is you also notice Hisanori took a step forward, but his hands are, and it's raining, so she can't tell, but his sword is not. He's not running forward either. He's not like. I mean, obviously he could just take 2 steps forward and finish it himself, but he's not either. And you can kind of tell by what he's saying and doing, or maybe it's not, or maybe let's see. Is it obvious to you? He by the things he's saying, he's trying to talk himself into finding. The courage was the last one, but he's trying to find the power within himself, trying to talk himself into doing it, basically.
I lean closer to you. We can't let them go. We can just tell them to run, to never come back, to change their name, to hide. He's just a boy.
Ooh, interesting. What does I look at you with? And I like that.
The rain's pouring.
Yeah. With a sort of like, there's no way that'll work, or is there? Sort of expression. and then I look, but she overheard us. And what does she say? She overheard. Actually, hold on. I'll say in Hisanori's voice first. He says, "Yeah, actually, no. He actually says something like that. That won't work." Hisanori says, but there's some what's it called? Like he's not sure. There's some unassuredness in his voice. What does she say? Even though we call her victim, something bad's going to happen to her. But
she starts grabbing anything in her vicinity. You see her grabbing clothes. You see her grabbing whatever's precious, and she starts offering it. And she's, just let us go. We'll run. We'll never come back. We'll never let them know you let us go. And I'm leaning closer to you. We can do this. They weren't the victim. They weren't supposed to be the targets anyway.
And interesting. So I will go ahead and get this one to you and say, let's see. So Hisanori, yeah, basically, he lowers his sword. He doesn't put it. He doesn't sheath it. But he basically lowers it to the ground and realizes he doesn't have the strength to do this thing. Or at least he can't find the will within himself to do this grisly task. Maybe there's something else that what's one more what's maybe it's like something else that that Haji says to him that really just maybe doesn't make him upset with himself, but basically the final straw. What does Haji say to Hisanori that basically finally makes him stand down?
Okay, I got it. I lean closer, even as the wife is now all packing. She's thinking that we're going to let her go, so she's gathering her things. She's getting her son to get ready to rush out into the rain. I lean close and I whisper to you, that could have been me.
Oh, nice. Oi. Okay, that's wow. Okay, I'm giving that one to you. And okay.
Have to let.
Yeah. I so not only that, like he at that, like his Hisanori's eyes just get wide, and rather than just lowering his sword or putting it away in a huff of anger of the anger with himself, he actually, his hands just open up and the sword just kind of clatters to the ground, clang 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 clang, and yeah.
She has to be the victim. I'm sorry.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. So
the wife dives for your sword.
Well, no, that I've got something better, if I may. The victim says, "Oh, she looks at us both and says, thank you. I swear that I'll disappear. I'll never be seen again. Thank you for sparing us." She grabs her son's hand. They they run into the rain for about like 4 steps, and there's just a like right at the end of our vision, a lightning in the distance, like we see basically just a mountain standing over her, and a sword descends, killing them both with just one slash. Or maybe like an upper or something. So a single slash, and 2 forms fall to the ground. Pum pum.
Red spree.
Just eerie quiet, and 2, and our father steps over her body, just glaring at both of us, with basically anger and disappointment. It's I'm trying to think of something rageful he could say, something like he said something effective, like strong enough to dispatch 6 armed men, but too weak in the heart to actually fulfill the mission set upon you. And doesn't even say anything forward, or doesn't say anything more, doesn't what is it called?
It leaves it hanging.
Doesn't come closer to us. He just kind of turns his back on us, and walks away. And at that, I think perhaps Haji may say or do something. Hisanori, this will be the last die here, which I'm going to give to myself. He falls to his knees on the ground in a sort of fit of self-hatred, and Haji hears him swear that he'll never, he'll steal his heart. He'll never disobey or fail in this way again.
And I guess Haji just stares at him, feeling guilty, but knowing in his heart that we still chose the right thing. And I think we end the chapter there.
Yep.
So
in front of you were 4 token thingies, dice thingies, tokens, which will become dice. And in front of me there were 3 again.
And then, do you feel any of us? I think we both were very not honest.
Yeah, I was thinking, but sincerity. I think honestly that your character was the more sincere one, because basically there was mission parameters. This was outside the mission parameters. It's it was one of those things where you could still kind of fit it in if you needed to, but obviously it really wasn't. It was just a lot cleaner to kill her. And you basically with sincerity were the one to pressure to let it go. So I would say over to you for those 2.
Okay, so I have 6 dice.
And I have a massive 3. Here we go.
Oh wow! You're gonna love my roll.
Interesting. You have to speak when you hold it up, otherwise I can't see the dice. You have to say something, otherwise you can't see it.
Okay, so it's a 2, 5, 1, 1, 1, and a 3. So that's 13.
I've got 15.
I have 13.
All right, so I quote unquote win that round, but what happens now?
How many dice did you roll? 3?
3, yes.
Yeah, so you have 3 edges. I'm keeping track of it here.
Okay.
I get 3 hatred, but I have 1 die above 3, so that's 4 hatred. Okay. So we're now entering the last chapter.
All right.
I've been trapped, don't worry. And this will be the one where someone crosses the line. Here we will have now the catalyst, which I think will still be the father.
Interesting, okay.
I foresee the father finally making us have this point where we will have to fight. The interesting thing, though, is given the story, I don't think we're fighting because we hate each other.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm starting to see that we might be fighting because we have to.
Yeah.
And not because we have things against each other. It's almost like our father made sure that one of us has to be punished.
Yeah, I can see that. Or perhaps maybe at this point also that, there's questions of skill, like who is actually the better swords person, but not just in sort of a, because they're, like basically perhaps after that last event, the father realized that, that maybe I've turned towards more like absolutely following the letter of the law while you kind of have an eyebrow raised. And so basically it's sort of like, for the future of the clan, we'll see who, make them fight. Well, it wouldn't be to the death or anything like that, would it? It would just be like just a duel of some sort, just a simple duel, or?
Yeah, I was thinking though, we still have to cross a line.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing is, this chapter could be set the night before he passed away.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Or maybe the night before the funeral. Like he'll pass away during this scene. But I see this scene as being one where he finally tests us to see who is more capable.
Okay.
But someone will cross the line in a way that will require a more permanent solution. Excuse me.
Got it.
Okay, so I guess for a nice bookend feeling, we could go back to the same location as the first chapter.
Okay.
So we're in the hallway again. We have the 3 pillows. No. We're at the hallway again, but there's only one pillow now.
Oh no.
And the two of us are standing because we're both staring at it, wondering where our pillows are.
Hmm.
And I got it. The catalyst. Um, the catalyst will be whoever is currently speaking for our father, because he is now grievously ill
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
and demands that one of us be ready to take his place.
Okay. How about maybe we bring that retainer who is writing stuff down, like basically
Yeah.
his second hand, who is sort of like, I guess at this point, secretary slash the lawyer for the estate, is speaking in his name, but is loyal enough to not take power for himself, but rather at least work with the father's wishes.
Like a seneschal or something.
Yeah. Basically that. Yes.
Okay. So we're both standing there. The seneschal finally walks in, and we've been waiting for quite some time.
Although, are we going to use a virtue here? And I noticed we don't have to.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't have to use a virtue in every scene according to the rules. But I was wondering if you were to use one.
I think honor fits in.
Okay, sounds good.
Because honor tends to force people to do things even if emotionally they don't want to.
Gotcha. Yep, makes sense.
So this is a moment of honor, and this is a moment when finally someone crosses the line. We're both standing as the seneschal walks into the room in very slow, tiny steps. In the background, we occasionally hear the wheezing sounds and the coughing coming from our father, who is near the end of his years due to illness. And because he's the catalyst, the seneschal opens with a bombshell. He tells us he has been poisoned. And we both stare at each other. We're surprised.
Yeah.
True or not, we don't know. But according to the seneschal, he has been poisoned, and he suspects it is one of you.
What? Okay.
I'm preparing the tokens.
Prepare them away.
I stare at you, and in my heart, I could not believe you would do such a thing. So the first thing I say is, "It wasn't me. I would never do such a thing."
How about this? I know in my heart that based on some of the ways that you haven't been softer, but you've been sort of following your own heart, which is a wonderful thing to do, unless you are the sworn retainer of a lord, in which case you have to swallow it and do what the clan demands. And often, the things that we've been doing in the service of our Lord have been, both good and bad. So, deep in my heart, I'm, even though I did not do it, but I'm pretty sure you did.
My eyes widen as you would accuse me of such
No,
a thing.
you actually, maybe you see it in his eyes that he accuses you, but he doesn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
And he turns to the what's it called? The seneschal, and says, "I did it."
As I stare at you as you make the pronouncement, what does the seneschal say?
The seneschal reacts with like, "Woo," kind of horror, like, I didn't imagine it was true that his own blood. I'm sorry, not like, he actually says it. I would not imagine it was true that his own blood son poisoned him.
That's not true. It's a lie. He wouldn't do such a thing either. Neither of us did it. I turn to you. I grab your sleeve. Tell me the truth. Did you? Would you do such a thing?
I brush your hand away and basically slide forward onto the pillow and lower my head and say, "It was I. I am now confessing to the poisoning of my father. Therefore, I will, put myself to the sword, and my brother will ascend as the leader of our clan."
I probably now ignore all pretense of proper and orderly fashion and a proper order, and I rush forward. I grab you by the shoulders. I try to pull you from the pillow. What are you saying? Why are you lying? Why are you saying all these lies?
I'll let's see. Yeah,
It wasn't me. You don't have to defend me. I wasn't the one who did this.
Okay, I'm going to let's see. So I'm gonna I look into your eyes using my samurai soul laser vision,
Mhm.
and determine, did you actually did Haji do the poisoning or not?
Okay.
And it's cool either way. I've got some thoughts either way.
Yeah.
It would be cool. Honestly, it's 100% cool. No, as well.
Well, I see. I think you see my innocence, so that works in my favor. The token goes to you.
Okay. So here's the thing. He then I nod and say, "I know that you didn't do it. It was not me either. We're being set up. One of us has to die. It'll be me, and you will ascend as the Lord." And then I this is all said under our breath, and find out the person who did this and take revenge for me.
Me.
And the funny thing is, this is
I'm going full dishonor.
Yep.
I'm angry. I can't accept that this is happening. So I move past you and I grab the seneschal by the sleeves and I start pulling him close, demanding that he tell us the truth. That neither of us poisoned him. That's the truth. Why are you making this happen?
The seneschal says, "Get off me! I speak for your father. Hisanori."
Oh, wait.
Cut him down. Oh, you got
I screamed that moment. He's not my father. And I shove the seneschal to the side and I run for the door where he is, wanting to, confront him.
Oh, okay. Where the father is? Okay. All right. So let's see.
Do I get to the door? Do I get to him?
Ooh, yeah. So here's what how many chips are left?
Currently there's one left and we're both at 3.
Okay. So this will be interesting. The seneschal draws his sword. And
okay.
He's older guy, but he's a swordsman of some quite renown. And steps forward to cut you down, and lifts his sword in the air and descends. The sword comes out of his chest and goes back in, and he falls over, and I'm standing behind him, and I wipe the blood and sheath my sword, and say, "Yeah, I'll say, brother, you should have listened to me. Now everything's going to fall apart." And that's when a bunch of guards just run into the room and just, what happened to her? And just basically lock everything down.
I think depending on the role, we'll find out who the father believes is the real one behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have 3, I have 4, but I think you acted with more honor.
I'll buy that.
So you have 2 extra dice. So that gives you 5 dice to roll, and I have 4 dice to roll.
So what I'm thinking is perhaps the final duel could be. I mean, it basically is just us caught in an honor-bound shit show of basically like we're kind of trapped here. I try to get at least one of us out, but now we're kind of stuck in it. So now we're kind of have to like sort of a fight to the death to see,
because the clan demands
trial by combat. Basically, whoever dies was obviously the person who poisoned them or something. Let's see, 10, 16, 21.
Oh, I have 14.
21.
So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more edges. I
can't hold up the 5 little dice, but 21.
Yep. And yeah, okay, we're now entering the finale.
Okay, which is even interesting because we've gotten to this point where it's funny because like I saw there was plenty of opportunities to like be like I'm gonna be the asshole brother, but I'm like, oh, that's too easy. and then so we've turned into a thing where it's kind of like a sad duel because
they do care about each other so much, but they have no choice but
but there's also probably hatred towards the events that brought them to this. We'll see.
If you think about it, kind of captures that respect angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we're now approaching the finale, but first we must decide what we do with our hatred.
Okay.
Currently.
Oh yeah. So what's the tally here as we go into the final?
Okay. You have 8 edges.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be rolling 8 dice.
Okay.
I have 6 edges.
Okay.
Now, before you roll your edges, we first deal with our hatred.
All right.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. You have 7 hatred.
7 total. Okay.
And I have.
So I only got 1 hatred for that last roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So you have 7 hatred, and I have 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 11. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you could either channel your anger or let it go.
Okay, I remember seeing that. Explain to me how those work.
So if you channel your anger, you will roll dice.
It's like a chance of getting more edges, but also to take scars, right?
Yes.
So scars are bad because
it will lead to a killing blow in the end.
Gotcha.
If you let go, then you will lose half your scars, which is kind of not that useful right now because neither of us have any scars.
Okay. Interesting. So I feel that I'm going to say that my hatred that it has been building up has been towards the circumstances we were put in. Mm-hmm. But I'm sort of overwhelmed by them. I tried to get a way out for you, could not. Therefore, I feel that I'm trapped in this. So I'm going to take that hatred and turn it into Jigglypuffs. I'm sorry. I will double down on it. Yeah, I will utilize that hatred.
Okay, so you roll 7 dice now.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me how many evens you have.
Okay. Evens, right?
Yeah.
I have 1 even.
Oh boy.
All the rest are. Oh, I'm sorry. No, two. I'm 6 and a 4. All the rest came up with 3s.
So you currently have 5 scars, and you have more edges. Normally, in face-to-face games where there's more time, mm-hmm. You can narrate each scar. Like one might be you punching the wall for the next hour in anger. Mm-hmm. Other one might be you yelling at the servants because you're angry. I mean, stuff like that.
Okay.
But we're pressed for time. Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm rolling my 11 dice.
So you're channeling your anger as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I can't believe this clan can be that stupid. Mm-hmm. wanting to kill an innocent kid. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Both
5,
adults also.
7. I have 7 edges.
Okay.
However, that still means I have 4 scars. So it's still a tricky scenario.
Okay.
So we'll now go into the finale,
Mm-hmm.
where whoever has more hatred attacks first, and that will be you.
Okay.
Every time you attack, you will use up one of your edges.
Okay.
Defending has a free single die, but both players can spend up to 2 edges to add to the roll.
Got it. So
Now, the moment one player still has edges and the other one doesn't, that's when we check for a killing strike.
okay. Got it.
Every
So
time, every time with every exchange, the loser gets an extra scar.
got it. So currently my tally here is 10 edges, 5 scars, and 7 hatred.
Yeah, so you have 10 edges, you have 5 scars. We've used up the hatred.
Oh, okay,
But you had more.
hatred is just.
But you had more earlier, so yeah.
Got it.
No, I had more earlier, so I started.
Okay. Yeah. Show me how you do this.
Yeah. So okay. So we're back at the funeral.
Mhm.
The thunder rumbles, the rain's pouring down, everyone is staring, and the seneschal reminds us that Father's dying words were, let the swords speak the truth.
Okay.
He who remains standing is meant to rule the clan.
Gotcha. This will be the I guess the assistant seneschal.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
seneschal
The next seneschal. With that, swords drawn. I know. I'll open with I'll open with a move wherein I step towards you with my sword drawn.
Okay.
But knowing how you respect honor and knowing how you want to do what the clan requires and knowing that you're sacrificing yourself for me, I hold my sword up in front of you and drop it to show I'm letting you win. So I am spending 2 of my edges, so I'll have 3 dice. So here, scars can even be emotional. They're not necessarily just physical. It could be humiliation. It could be stuff like that.
Okay.
But my opening move is to drop my sword. Basically, I'm saying, I won't fight you. I know you're going to. I know you are trying to sacrifice yourself for me. I would sooner give up and lose than let you do that to me. So you have 1 free die to defend, and you can spend extra edges if you want to defend with more dice.
Okay. So and we do this back and forth until the edges are gone. Is that?
Until only 1 person has edges left.
Okay. And you're starting with 3. Yeah, I will defend. I will. So, I'm sorry. Do I start off with 1 die and then I can add edges into that, or do I start with nothing?
Decide to add before you roll.
Okay, so I'm starting with 1. I'm going to add 1 edge. So take myself from 10 to 9.
Yeah.
And add 1 single die.
I'm keeping track here too. Don't worry.
Okay.
I've rolled. I have a 13.
All right. I'm not going to beat that. I've got an 8.
So you get a scar.
Okay.
I'm keeping track.
Sure.
How did you respond to the move of me dropping the sword?
Let's see. So the scar is going to be an emotional one, spiritual one. As basically I nod in understanding, and knowing our training together, I'm going to trigger a response in you. by like you threw your sword to the ground and kind of clatters and kind of
Mhm.
rolls in the gravel towards me. I take sort of one step forward and two steps forward, and maybe you're gonna brace yourself for the killing blow. But basically, what I do is an unexpected move. With my foot, I sort of cradle the sword and flick it towards you, sort of sideways, so that it will like land, like sort of like a hey catch,
Yeah,
um,
I'm forced to
and
grasp it again.
yeah, and you catch it, and I leap forward to strike you um, with a real strong overhand thing. You raise up the sword, and basically, I have forced you into
A fight.
yeah, into a fight. I picked you, the sword's
With the
back up,
swords, I mean.
and I
Mhm.
take that emotional scar, but I return it by showing you basically like whether it's a trick or whether it's real. You just can't tell at this point, but uh, um, Hisanori's eyes are very serious, and
Mhm.
you can tell that he's now there's no talking him down. He's going to do this, so it's a side of him you've never seen before.
So it's your turn
Okay,
to strike.
I will. Now I'm sorry. What? How does the scars happen? How do you determine how many scars one gets?
Oh, every time whoever loses that round will get a scar.
Okay,
So the scars keep piling up until someone has more edges, and we'll find
gotcha.
out if it's enough for
And
clean blood.
and how many edges do you have left?
I still have 10 to your 9.
Okay. Uh, just to bulk things up. Now I would see how we would want to play this game where I would like maybe do two or three and then whittle each other down and kind of keep an eye on that. Where it would be kind of stupid to go in with a full roll of a bunch of dice versus one. But in the space of time, considering time and things like that, I'm going to leap forward with five.
Okay.
Five.
Yeah,
Now, do I get one to start off with, and then I can add 5 edges, or?
well, you can actually, you're supposed to only add up to 2. So you can
Oh,
only
I'm
go to
sorry.
3.
Oh, okay. Apologies. So yeah, we'll go up to 3 here. I will use 2 edges.
I'm removing 3 from your current pool.
Okay.
And describe how you attack.
Viciously, just
Yeah,
several
so
strikes
numerous
that you can
slashes.
barely block. I'm coming in very strong, a fierce screaming, and with some sort of fury at the heavens for putting us in the situation.
I'm spending 2 of my edges, so that'll
Mhm.
give me 3 dice as well. And I am trying to parry to the point that I can push you close enough to whisper something to you.
Okay, we'll see if you can.
I have a 12.
I have
12.
a I have a 13. Let me add that up again. Yes,
No!
13.
So with the numerous slashes,
Ooh.
parry, parry, and then um, let's say your blade cuts through my defense enough to rip open my left sleeve, and you've
Mhm.
cut me in the left forearm.
Mhm.
So blood is now dripping down my elbow, and the rain, of course, is making it mingle into the floor. As I stare at the wound, I grit my teeth and I stare at you. Why are we even doing this? Shouldn't we? Shouldn't we just? We could just leave. And I'm using 3 of my edges. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
not doing a physical attack.
Yeah, yep,
I'm doing an emotional attack.
that's right. You punch me right
We
in the
don't have
feels.
to stay with the clan.
Mhm.
We were raised to be samurai, and the first thing our father does is have us act like assassins. This place does not respect itself. They have no sense of true honor. We should just leave. 3.
Okay. I will, and I can add up to 2 on my side. I will go ahead and do that. So I will be spending 2 edges.
Yep, you're down to 4, but you'll have 3 dice.
Mhm. And yep, that's yeah. So I'm going to. That's going to be my defense. I'm going to see if I can defend myself
Yep,
emotionally against that, and then I'll determine what happens then. So rolling my 3 dice.
I have a 7.
I have a 6.
See?
Yep.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, you get a scar.
Okay. So okay. got that. And I've got 4 edges left, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you say that to me. And yeah, I take that wound, realizing that, maybe if it were a day earlier and we had this realization, we could have done something about it. But I say, it's so cheesy. No, it is our fate. Yes, I'll use the F word. I'll say no. This was fated. There's fate has brought us to this position. We must now carry it out as it will. And I push you back. Oh, so we do that little jump back thing. Okay, and my attack. I will go ahead and pump up with max edges again. So 3 total dice. So
You're
2
down to
edges.
1. I'm spending 2, so I roll 3 as well. This is a better roll.
I did too.
I have 14.
And I have 15. 3 5s. I was actually
wow. Okay. So as slashing, you're attacking as you say that. I realize I can see the murder in your eyes. I realize I can't talk to you. I can't reach you. You're too far.
Yeah, it's I would say more of a distance. Not more of like complete the task is what's in his eyes. And you can see that he's basically steeled his heart and doesn't even see you as a person anymore. He's trying to get into the zone so that he can finish this task, however it will play out.
Okay. I shall interrupt with a system note.
Okay.
So I have 3 tokens left.
Mm-hmm.
I could choose to spend all for my attack. Keep in mind, you can defend with 1 free die.
Yeah,
you don't have to use your last one. So if you do that, you will have the opening for a killing blow.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But I could choose to not use it all up, to force you to be the one to use up your last edge. And open yourself up to a killing blow. So you see how the system works.
Yeah.
But since I don't want to be the one to kill you, I am going to risk it.
Okay.
Although I end up triggering it anyway, by using all 3 for my 3 dice to attack you.
Okay.
So the question is, do you...
Yes, I do.
You'll hold on to this for a final blow, or will you spend it?
I'm going to spend it.
I'm
not taking that final blow. I'm gonna let you have this final blow right here.
So you'll have 2 dice for defense.
I will have 2 dice for defense.
And we'll see if anyone will die. I've rolled, and the dice.
I have rolled as well.
Okay. Mine is an 11.
11. There's mine.
Okay, and
I'll leave it to you.
Each remaining translates to automatic scars, but there weren't any automatic scars. If the attacker wins, I did win. Yes. You have more scars than me. If the defender had more scars, the defender dies and is defeated.
Okay.
Damn it!
So that's a good question. How do I die?
Yeah, so I see your anger, I see your murderous gaze, I realize I can't reach you anymore. And
give me a if I may, give me a chance to say one last thing before I die. Rather than just like, I cut his head off.
I think I know what'll happen.
Okay.
So realizing I can't reach you, I turn the blade and I'm about to slash it into my own belly.
Oh.
And that's when you intervene.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what happens.
Okay. I commit seppuku first. Now, yeah, you basically
I'm sort of trying to I'm trying to set you before you kill me.
How about this? A flashback to a technique if you fall into the enemy hands, for example, as we were
Go.
taught before we went on our assassination missions, where you take your sword and in one quick stroke, you hold it out at length, and then you whip it back at yourself to basically not, it won't cut off your own head, but you will pretty much wedge it in there with no chance of being able to live. So you're basically winding up for your self-killing strike. It doesn't look like everyone else on the field wouldn't
Recognize it.
know the technique, so they would be surprised by it. And you basically wind yourself up to do it as fast as possible to just end yourself in the pain. You spin that sword at your own neck, and then you realize that you still feel the rain on your face as you closed your eyes and felt it hit, felt the sword cut deep into your skin, and you feel the rain in your face, and you don't feel any pain, and you open your eyes and you see your smiling brother's face there, and your sword has cut him like deep in the back of his neck, because he basically lowered his sword and ran right up basically face to face with you. And
you parried with your neck.
Yeah, that's right. And I say, I'll just in the same way, like I clap my hands on your shoulders like that first day with a warm smile on his face and said, I knew you could do it, brother.
Rain.
He says, you were always stronger than I was. If I won, I could never carry on a day further, but I knew you have the strength in you to carry on. And he falls over.
Oh, wow. It suddenly becomes really respect.
Yeah.
I guess this is the moment I watch as you drop down, but I cradle you. I don't let you drop to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I slowly repeat the same words I said before. I promise no harm will come to you.
Oh.
I promise that I shall be hurt first before anyone hurts you. And as I bring you down to the ground, I look up, staring at the clan, at the new seneschal, the other people gathered. And I finally conclude the words and say, I shall keep to my promise and protect you. You are all I have left.
Oh, nice.
And lightning. Rain continues to pour. And we probably have people now slowly moving around the scene. But the two of us are... And the two of us are frozen, not moving. But everyone else is now moving around us as the clan finally realizes they are now once again led.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do the whole Hollywood slow camera up as figures start to walk onto the gravel towards you and all that. Yeah. Wow.
And there's credits. Woo!
Yeah. That was really intense. That was really good. Yeah. And also it was kind of cool because I wasn't trying to avoid the like basically like, oh, I'm gonna make my guy, like I saw the openings to basically do the whole like I'm gonna make myself a dick and then we'll go into fights and stuff like that to really turn up. But I just kind of wanted to role play not being that kind of character. But then we got to the second scene and I was kind of concerned because I'm like, oh crap, well if we really like each other, how are we gonna have that last fight? But it just knowing what had to happen in the third chapter because of the rules, that helped us focus, I think, and made that happen in the way it did. That was really cool.
Yeah, I when I designed this, I took film when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of tried to distill how the movies worked and narrow it down to those key moments and those key events and make them required moments in the game. So part of the challenge now is with the upcoming sequel book, a second moment. Um, I'm working on multiplayer rules,
Hmm.
so you can actually like have 5 players in one game session.
5 players.
Um,
Interesting. Okay.
there's even, I'm still tidying it up, but there's even Sentai and Magical Princess rules.
Interesting.
You
Okay.
want to play this as that sort of a game, the system will still accommodate it. Um, there's some rules where there's no dice roll. There's some rules where it uses cards. I just want to try to hit. If people don't like the dice rules, there's options. If people don't like rolling, or if people don't like randomness, there's options.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, it's it's it has its moments. It's a bit trickier, really, virtually, because normally in games, when people are running the scenes, you just hold the die, and if that person decides to get it, then it should favor you. The nonverbal communication of who gets the token.
Yeah. 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 I really like that.
So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Oh no. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. That was really cool.
It's wait, chat. I wanted to meet a friend of ours just showed up. She was also one of those who played in the Ryutama game.
Oh, okay.
So I want to introduce you to her. Chat, hurry, come here, come here. So um this is what, the guy or one of the guys. What would be the best way to say it?
I'm the other guy.
He's the other guy who allowed us to enjoy Ryutama.
Wow, thank you.
The less
Just
we
in,
do, I gotta say, it's mostly Matt's work. I just did no more than 30% of it, and a lot of side stuff and editing and things like that. But yeah, so I was a support wagon for most of it. So.
But yeah, they really love the game.
yes, it was.
Well, thank you guys for playing. I was following your exploits. It's really cool what you guys did.
Fell down the stairs.
A lot of traveling misrolls.
Yes.
That's how the game is fueled. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It was enjoyable. It was like a Japanese RPG. It was fun.
Well, it was. It is a Japanese.
Yeah.
It felt like that. It's awesome, brilliant. Thank
Yeah.
you. Support is always great.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You guys are great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce you because she's one of my really close friends, and we're actually hitting a bar after
Yes.
this.
Okay. Great. Don't want to keep it too
We're
long.
gonna go out. I hope you enjoyed.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I wouldn't mind if we, set aside time to like have a game once a month or something. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Let me. Let's clear some schedules and figure out what we're gonna do next. That'd be cool.
So there, I guess that ends our session for tonight.
Yeah. Let me click on the little button here and stop the broadcast. So we'll continue to talk for a moment, but we'll cut the session out there. Thanks for playing. And
Now it's anyone watching. Thank you for watching.
A Single Moment over here by Tobie Abad, and check it out. You can get it on.
Oh wait, I'm assuming this will be online very soon, so I might as well add the plug. River House Games is soon releasing 5 new play sets for A Single Moment, and if you haven't purchased the game, purchasing his book will give you a discount coupon to buy A Single Moment at a lower price. So catch it when you can.
Excellent. Let me click on the stop button there.